Well, it was the fact that we were sitting there talking about what we had seen, what I had seen her, hitting the boy and stuff, and there was two of them in there. And, like I said before, she seemed really upset and irritated anyway, and she kept snapping at the kids. And then she was getting on to him. She was talking to somebody on the phone. Someone else had come up, and she was talking about... To me, me being younger and stuff, you put two and two together. Whoever had pulled up, I couldn't hear what the other person was saying, but apparently whatever she had gotten, she had said that shit that we got wasn't any good, and I'm not messing with them anymore. She was still irritated with the kids. They were jumping on the seat and stuff. She told them she was going to knock the shit out of them if they didn't cut it out. She had said that a couple of times. And I'm like, God, that's a nice way to talk to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for some reason, I looked over, and she smacked the kid, and it looked like she had hit him in the face or in the side of the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, my God, I can't even believe that she did that.
Now, Ronald says that he picked up Haleigh that day.
No, Ronald definitely wasn't there that afternoon. It was definitely Misty and two little boys.
When you heard, or when you hear Ronald say or deny that's not true, what do you think?
When I hear him that he was up at the bus stop?
Yeah, when you hear him claim he was at the bus stop, what do you think?
I think that he's definitely trying to cover something up because, he knows for a fact he wasn't there. He's definitely trying to hide something, in my opinion. And there's a bunch of witnesses there that know for a fact that it wasn't him at the bus stop. Now, I wasn't there that morning. Jerry was there that morning, but from what Jerry says, he was aggravated that morning. And then that afternoon, Ronald definitely was nowhere near the bus stop. It was Misty, which, 9 times out of 10, it is Misty in the afternoon, or else her sister or somebody else. They have so many family members that come and pick up those kids, you can't keep track of who's who.
Remember when he went out to the car? I'm jumping ahead now.
Right.
To the truck, and then came back in the house after Ronald. He thought Ronald threatened him. What did he tell you, and what was your reaction?
Well, actually, when Ronald was in the house and Jerry was walking him out, I heard Ronald at the front door when he was leaving. And he actually walked out the door, and Jerry walked out with him to walk him out. And our front door shut, and Ronald opened the door back up, and he looked at us, and he said, you better keep an eye on your kids. You better really watch your kids. And I looked at him kind of funny, and Jerry was like, okay, man, I appreciate it. And Jerry went to walk him off, and I looked at Mom, and I was like, that's creepy. And because he had a weird look on his face. And I said, okay. I said, is that a threat, or is he sitting here actually trying to be concerned? And Mom's like, well, you got to keep in mind he just lost his kids, so it's probably that's what he's doing. He's telling you to keep an eye on your kids. Well, our kids, we watch them 24/7. But initially I took it as a threat. And she said, you got to keep in mind, like I said, that his child's missing. I said, you're right, Mom, I'm probably overreacting. But he was really creepy when he was over here that night anyway. Then when Jerry walked inside after, walking him to his truck and stuff, and told me that he repeated again outside, and he came inside, and he had said it a few times outside to Jerry, and I looked at him and I said, yeah, you heard him say it at the front door too. I said, that's not a parent talking to a parent. I said, that's creepy. I said, that sounds like he's making a threat to us. Because he came over here initially looking for answers of, my father-in-law trying to help him out, and the way that I took it is he didn't get the answers that he wanted, and he was ticked off.